Hi, I'm Stephanie and I'm the Garden Fairy. This is my tutorial on hanging baskets. I don't like to be too serious in my garden. I like to have a little bit of fun. So here's some of the things that you're going to need. I've chosen some seasonal flowers, some violas, some pansies, but anything that's actually in season at the moment is all good. I've actually bought my hanging basket. You can get it from any discount shop or B&Q, any garden centre. I tend to use gritty soil. It's my own gritty soil that it's just soil that I've prepared and added just a little bit of grit. An old camping bowl I've used, and that just places on top just to sturdy the basket so it's not wobbling about. I've also got some normal compost. When I mean normal compost, I mean compost that's just your everyday use that you can get from any garden centre that's there for use as well. Now, to start off with, what I normally do is try and make a reservoir in the actual hanging basket. As you can see, I normally use my thumb and some sharp scissors, and all you need to do is measure your thumb from the bottom of the basket up to where the top of your point of your thumb is and punch holes all around the centre. Now the basket is really sturdy, it's not going to break, so punch the holes through into the plastic. Do not punch a hole in the middle. I know it's tempting, a lot of people do it, but that will just mean that the water will just go straight through, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a reservoir in the bottom of the hanging basket, and this will help the flowers when there's a little bit of dryness that you can't get to your hanging baskets in time, and it will actually keep them for a little bit longer. Now place the basket back inside your bowl and then empty your gritty soil into the bottom. Now what this does is it sort of helps with the soil and the actual stones, the little pebbles and the grit inside. It actually helps drainage. I know you've just made a reservoir, but this really does help as well. And just pat that down. Now, this is just normal everyday compost you can buy from any garden centre. There's nothing special about it apart from it's just normal compost. I know a lot of people like to use special hanging basket and pots and things like that. This is a bag that I've actually bought from a local garden centre, and I use it all the time for my hanging baskets. Now what I'm going to start doing first is I've actually got different kinds of ivy. You can buy these from your local garden centre. They're actually quite cheap. What I did is I bought one pot of each different types and I've split them. So all I do is just point them in probably spaces about every 4 around the basket, just so I can place other plants in between them. Now the next stage, put a little bit more compost in and actually make sure that they're actually quite secure inside. Don't forget these are dangling, trailing plants, so they get caught on things, the wind blows, so they need to be quite firm inside. Just make sure you just put a little bit of compost around each one. Now right in the middle of the basket I want to put a pansy. Now you can put anything in at the moment, I mean seasonal flowers. I've chosen pansies because they're actually quite winter tolerant as such, and I noticed last year when I did my hanging baskets they actually managed to stay flowering all the way through winter, right into January, and I think I didn't actually take them down until February, which was absolutely amazing. So if you plant the pansy in the middle, it will grow a little bit bigger and it will actually fill out. Now, violas. I love violas. These are trailing violas and they are really hardy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place them in between the ivy. So when the basket actually starts flourishing and looking lush, it will actually bush out really well. So I'm just going to tease them out of the actual packet, and then I'm going to place them inside the basket. Now I placed them on a slight diagonal, so they're actually dangling a little bit more out of the basket. Now these flowers are really hardy, so don't be scared of them. Now all I'm going to do now is just get my normal everyday compost that I use and just sort of bed them in a little bit, making sure that they've actually got quite a lot round them. Fill the basket, but not right to the top, but do fill it and press them down slightly, not too much. That's it, they should be quite secure now inside. Now what I do is, just to give the basket a little bit more of a lush feeling, I've actually chose some seeds that I can just put inside the basket, just so as the basket's actually very gradually coming along, these will actually start flowering as well, and you get a little bit, not only there's pansies inside there and violas and ivy, there's Drosophila and everything that's going inside. So I'm just going to sprinkle some seasonal seeds, and then as it comes towards winter time into the spring, they will actually start shooting as well. So maybe the pansies are a little bit sad, then there is little shoots going to start coming through just into the springtime. Now all I do is just cover them with soil. Now over the coming months, this will look lush. And then voila.
Thank you for watching the Garden Fairies tutorials. If you'd like to see more videos on tutorials, please click the link on screen. If you'd like to subscribe, please click the button. Thank you.